There has been an arrest in the unsolved murder of Vanessa Ceja-Ramirez. This is an update to a case I had previously covered, and the details are shocking. Vanessa Ceja-Ramirez was essayed and murdered in 2020. She vanished during a walk with her mother in a local forest preserve. Her body was found in the Midlothian Meadows Forest Preserve just 2 days after she disappeared, and this marked the beginning of a years-long investigation that has finally led to the arrest of a suspect, Dakota Petrey. Let's get into these details. Let's get spooky. Hey, spooky people, this is your best friend Kenny here. And before we get into today's video, let's make sure that you are subscribed to this channel, The Spooky Lawyer. Make sure that you like this video. Make sure that you share this video. Go ahead and share this video on whatever the weirdest social media website you're on. Are you on, what is it, Red? Whatever that Red TikTok alternative was, share it on there. We could use some, people joining into the spooky people group. We need more spooky people watching these spooky videos. So share it with people on social media. All right. As I just said, this is a video I had previously covered. In fact, this was one of my first videos that I did, and a video that inspired, or the idea behind this video inspired me making this channel. After I heard the story of Vanessa Ceja-Ramirez, I was shocked by the fact that such a brutal, disturbing case was not more reported on by the media and was not well known, and was not more well known in true crime circles. It turns out that the silence behind this case had reasons. The police had a suspect the entire time, and they were investigating him, albeit slowly. And now they have pulled the trigger. They have made an arrest of Dakota Petrey. You can go back and watch my original video on Vanessa Ceja-Ramirez. I know I haven't been doing this very long, but you could really tell the difference in how much better at making these videos I have gotten since I made that video back in August. But go back, watch the video. But to give you some background, Vanessa Ceja-Ramirez went for a walk with her mother and a friend in the Midlothian Meadows Forest Preserve. She momentarily lagged behind, supposedly to tie her shoe, and she would text her mom that she was heading back to the car. She would never be seen again. 2 days later, her body would be found in the same forest preserve. She was dead. She had been strangled. She had been essayed, and she'd been partially set on fire. And she was missing a significant amount of her personal effects. One of the new details that has been revealed as part of this investigation was that she actually sent a final text to her mother that her mother didn't believe was her. She sent a text that just said, "A verdad," which is Spanish for real. And this immediately raised alarm bells with her mother because she had never heard her daughter say this. It's fascinating. We have this way, and we get to know people, and we get to know people in a way that we can tell what they say and what their words are, right? You can frequently tell from when you interact with someone who you loved, a loved one, your wife, your family members, your friends, and when they send you a message or they say something that seems out of the blue, it raises alarm bells for you, and it might not raise alarm bells for other people. I don't know how seriously police and law enforcement take this type of intuition, but her mother said she got this text message that said "A verdad," and she's like, "That's not my daughter who sent this." After Vanessa disappeared, a frantic search ensued involving police, canine units, and helicopters. They couldn't find her. Her mother used the Find My iPhone app, which led her to an apartment complex where Dakota Petrey resided with his girlfriend. This is where Dakota Petrey became a person of interest in this case, although the police never actually announced him as a person of interest, probably for good reason. However, as they investigated, they uncovered a lot of circumstantial evidence and suspicious behavior that kept implicating Petrey. His girlfriend reported that he was anxiously pacing as the search went on, and he refused to answer the door when the police were near his apartment, an act that his girlfriend believed suggested he may have been involved. Not only that, Petrey's own family believed that Petrey was involved in Vanessa's disappearance. A tip from Petrey's nephew revealed that Petrey's own sister had voiced concerns about the crime and Petrey's involvement in the crime, stating that the crime sounded like something her brother would do. Now, could you imagine that? Could you imagine your own family? Well, could you imagine your own family member hearing about a crime and thinking that your own family member would be involved because of how heinous it was? That's terrifying. He would also ask his family for help moving his van which was near the crime scene, which created more suspicion with his family. Petrey's bizarre behavior didn't end there, though. Petrey refused to allow pest control entry into his apartment just a few days after the murder, and he was subsequently evicted, which led to them finding a cell phone that was neither Petrey's nor Vanessa's, and zip ties, as well as some other evidence that will likely be used in his prosecution. Investigators were able to collect DNA evidence. There was DNA evidence discovered on Ceja-Ramirez's shoes near where her body was found, and they were able to create a DNA match from a discarded can that Petrey had used in Tennessee, providing links to him and the crime scene. Petrey apparently told on himself to his girlfriend. There were text messages that Petrey sent to his girlfriend stating he was evil and a psycho, and hints that he had hurt somebody and was unable to help himself. These confessions are vague, but they offer a glimpse into how deeply troubled Petrey is. Petrey would relocate to central Illinois, where he would have multiple run-ins with law enforcement and culminate with his arrest in Fulton County on unrelated charges. This allowed authorities to confront him with the overwhelming evidence against him in this case. He refused to acknowledge the DNA findings, and he stated his intention was to move back to Chicago as soon as he was released from prison in Fulton County, Illinois. However, as soon as he was released on the Fulton County charges, he was immediately arrested on the charges in this case. Now, it's important to remember that in this country, we are innocent until proven guilty, and despite the fact that it is probably very likely that Petrey is at least involved in this case, based on the evidence, based on the amount of time involved in this case, and the fact that there was radio silence from law enforcement in dealing with this case prior to his arrest as him as a suspect, which means they were very much considering him a suspect and just did not want to jeopardize their case against him. Again, he is innocent until he is proven guilty. However, there is mounting evidence against him, and now the family of Vanessa Ceja-Ramirez can have a sense of closure, as well as the community that was haunted by the disturbing aspects of this case can at least feel safe knowing that this person is likely off the streets. Now, justice is delayed here and is likely going to be delayed 5-6 years, more likely 6 years after her death until there is a trial and possibly a conviction. But it appears that justice is on the path of being served. This case is a stark reminder in that the darkness of humanity can be lurking anywhere. And you need to be aware of yourself and your surroundings at all occasions. And even then, even if you are hyper aware, it might not help you. Vanessa was a loving, caring person. She was a hard worker. She was loved by her family. She was known to be smart. And the fact that this happened to her and what she must have went through in her final moments is terrible. And hopefully with Petrey's arrest, there can be a sense of resolution to this case. Make sure that you're subscribed to this channel, The Spooky Lawyer. Again, make sure that you like this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about Dakota Petrey. Let me know what you think about some of the more disturbing details in this case. Now, this guy was just arrested, so the details are still trickling out. But as I said, this was sort of a pet case of mine, and getting this arrest is very exciting to me to be able to provide this as part of my ongoing coverage of this case. Make sure that you are following me on Blue Sky and TikTok. My username is akbruce. Make sure that you are following me on Twitter if you are a Twitter user. If there are any other true crime, unsolved mysteries cases that you would like me to cover, send me an email. My email address is thespookylawyer@gmail.com. And I appreciate you watching my videos. I appreciate you supporting me and, helping me build this channel up. And of course, I want you to remember, to stay spooky.